creating a clip, I use multiple devices to create the content that I'm going to put into the clip movie. I use a primary device that's usually a tablet computer, and then secondary devices like an iPhone and an iMac. Again, that primary device, the tablet, the iPad Pro in my case, runs the Clips app. And I can also use it to create content, but I also have specific uses for the iPhone and for the tablet computer. The apps that run on those devices include the Clips app itself on the tablet. The iPhone I use mainly the camera app, and the laptop is reserved almost exclusively for running QuickTime. The types of content that each of these apps create are specific to those uses. Clips can create both video content as well as still images, just like a camera. The camera, of course, on the iPhone can also be used to create videos and stills. In this case, the video content that I create on the camera tends to be of a type that is not yet supported by the recording features in Clips. That would include, for example, time-lapse videography. And I also use QuickTime on the laptop to create video material that I then turn into Clips later. And that's of the sort, particularly using QuickTime, of doing screen capture, which is particularly useful for teaching people how to use applications or run processes that run on a laptop or desktop computer. To create a screen recording from a laptop, the tablet computer should be connected to the laptop by the USB charging cable. Now, inside the QuickTime Player app, if you go to the File menu and select New Recording, in the drop-down menu next to the Record button, you can select the video source, which I want to be my iPad Pro. Now we'll see that my iPad Pro screen is showing up on my laptop screen as a source for recording. And now when I press the Record button, everything that I do on my iPad Pro touchscreen appears and is recorded in QuickTime. So now I start using the tablet computer to record the movie that I'm going to show and create a clip for, which is how to use Google Sheets to perform calculations. For example, here I enter 1 plus 1, and you'll see this part in the final video. When I'm done recording, I navigate back to the recording panel and hit stop. Now I need to save this video, so I'll save in the File menu to my desktop.
What we just saw was an example of using QuickTime on a laptop to perform screen capture to produce content that will be used in making a clip video.
For teaching people how to use apps. Ultimately, all of these things have to get their content into Clips. and that's where I finally collect the content, and the content from both the camera app on the iPhone and QuickTime on my laptop dump or share their videos and stills into photos, which can then all together pipe into clips. So that's how I create, using different apps on different devices, the content, and then get all of that content back onto my primary device, the iPad, so that I can actually use the Clips app to create the video. And that's what I'm going to talk about next. Now I need to make this movie available to my iPad so that I can use my iPad and the Clips app to produce a video. So I'm going to drop that, or import that movie, into my iPhoto library. In this case, just by dragging and dropping. And it takes a second or two for that movie to show up in my iPhoto or Photos library. Now, depending on the size of that video file, it could take quite a while to upload and synchronize with your Photos libraries on other devices. Clips accesses your Photos library as a potential source of both photographs and movies to import into Clips. And that's what I'm looking at right now. Is I'm inside Clips in the library, and that movie that I just dropped onto my laptop isn't showing up yet. So I'm going to go look in my Photos library, and it's going to take another half a minute or so before that video file finally uploads and appears. It will eventually. And I know this is the most boring part of this Clips video to watch, me refreshing and refreshing my Photos library, but there it goes. There's my video file.
That was an example of collecting content from other devices, the secondary devices, into the Photos app to make it available on the device, an iPad in this case, that's going to run the Clips app to produce the video. Now you've seen my entire workflow for content creation.
To curate the content that I've just generated, I use the Clips app, together with one of those or more of those video files. But in this case, I'll just focus on one video file that maybe has multiple different points that I make, but they're contained in a single video. So the first thing that I'll do using Clips is import that one long video as multiple short videos that are now essentially separate video files. That would be the first step in my Clips process. Import one long video as multiple short videos. I'm now inside the Clips app and importing the screen capture video and resizing it to fit the width of the Clips screen. Now I'm going to select the live captioning button at the top of the screen to set up live captions and select which format I prefer. Now I'm going to import this movie by pressing the red hold to add this clip button at the bottom of the screen. And while I press down on that button, it imports the movie second by second.
That was an example of recording a single video into multiple independent clips using the Clips app.
Now in the second step, I might add, and I usually do add, posters. These are either static or dynamic text slides that you can add in. So that's my second step of the process. And that usually incorporates some stereotypical sort of tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them sort of language. My first poster is usually a title slide. My second poster is usually a preview of what's to come. after the main content, however many clips worth of video that is, I would have a summary. And at the very end, I will often leave my audience with a sort of a take-home or application question, something to make them consider, say, how does this content apply to my real life? And then the final poster is usually credits. After adding the final bit of video, I'm going to add a poster using the button at the top of the screen. Here are the choices of posters I have. So I'm going to scroll through the 3 screens of posters to find the style that I like and select it. Now I double-click on the text to edit the text to reflect my needs. And then I apply in the upper right. To add the poster to my movie, I have to hold down the red button at the bottom. Once the poster is recorded, I use the icons at the bottom of the screen by clicking and dragging to reorder the icons. This changes the order of clips in the final video. You just watched the process of adding posters to a clip. Now, at the same time that I'm importing all of these materials, both the videos and importing the posters, I will also be doing live captioning. So this is also part of step 2. And what that means is that as I'm importing the recordings or the posters, this is when I do voiceover. So the Clips app records my voice talking about the visual data, the visual information, the video or the slide, the poster. And the live captioning then also uses clips to translate your speech into an actual caption that shows up on the screen. The next thing I would do after that is to use clips to jazz up the video a little bit. Sometimes by adding animated icons, like maybe an arrow that appears and points to a specific spot on the video. Now I've selected one clip from the movie, and I'm going to add an animated icon by pressing that button in the top panel. Now I select which sort of icon I want to use, and like posters, I can double-click on the text to change it. You can pinch and zoom to rotate and to resize the icon as you need. And here's what that animated icon looks like. That was an example of adding an animated icon in Clips. Now at this point I've done everything I need to do to the individual components of the clip. And now the rest of the steps, we've got 4 more steps in my workflow. That's already the bulk of the work. I do 4 more things. One is, I go in and I mute the original video. So that's step 4. I'll mute the original video of all of the original video clips that were imported, because there might have been some background noise. I might have been doing voiceover while I was talking then, but I want my voiceover from the live captioning to be the audio that the audience hears, not the original video, or the original audio rather. So I'll mute all of those original audio files at this point. Now that I've imported the original video, I'm going to start by muting the original video clip. That way that any audio that was recorded while I recorded the original video is not playing back on top of my voice captions. That was an example of muting the audio in the original video files so that the audio produced when I recorded live captions would be audible. The next thing that I'll do is go into the text transcripts of all of those live captions, and I'll edit them to make sure that what Siri, or the voice engine for Siri, thought I was saying is actually what it wrote down in the captions. Often this isn't true. Now I'll edit the caption text using the transcript button. That brings up a window where I can use the cursor to edit the text, the transcript from the live captioning.
That was the process of editing captions.
So that's step 5. Step 6 is, now we're getting really close to the end, to add a soundtrack. So whenever I'm not speaking, there's some fun music playing. There are some free open access soundtracks that are provided in clips that you can use. And the very final step, or finally at the end, is to export that clip and let the world see what it is you've done. My last poster is my ending poster, and then I'm going to add a video soundtrack by pressing the note icon in the upper right corner. That brings up this screen which lists all of the free soundtracks that I can choose from. So I've selected one, Falderall, and I choose Apply and Done.
And now you've seen an example of how to add a soundtrack to a clip.
I'm ready to share this entire clip, so I press the share icon in the bottom right. Now we wait while the video is saved or shared, and this saves to the library or to the photo roll. You can access the movie after it's shared or exported in the Photos application on your smartphone, your iPad, or your laptop if you have photo sharing turned on.
And now I've shared my final clip as a file so that I can upload it to my favorite social media site or to a blog, for example. And now you've seen my entire content creation workflow for using the Clips app. Now I want to add in really quickly here at the end that I'm actually doing this while I'm recording about it, and I'm trying a new approach right now. And that is that I'm using my iPhone as I'm speaking and recording using, this is in the Explain Everything app that I'm creating this content that you're watching right now. I'm using my iPhone to record the audio. And because I'm not using Clips right now to create this video, there is no live captioning happening right now. I'm inside the Explain Everything app environment. When I move this video into Clips to produce the clip that you're watching right now, I'm going to use my Voice Memos app from the iPhone to play back the audio that I'm speaking right now into the microphone of my tablet so that it hears my recording on the iPhone and will use that audio to do the live captioning. I know this is getting really meta, but this is really exciting and a great opportunity to use video and content from lots of different sources, and even different recording apps, but still leverage the power, especially the live captioning, of Clips to produce clips that are engaging and accessible. Now I'll show you the final version of the clip.
Now we're going to look at how to create a spreadsheet. First, I'll open Google Sheets. Click the plus button and create a new spreadsheet. Now I'm going to enter a formula. Click in the cell, enter 1 plus 1, hit return. This formula did not calculate. What I did wrong was all formulas must start with an equal sign. So I add an equal sign, and hit return. Now the calculation is complete. And please be sure to be in touch if you have any questions.